Welcome back, software engineers. So we've gone through all of our communication stage, and now we're in our planning stage. We've looked at use cases, which is identifying the types of things that people need to use. One of the things inside of it was preconditions, like what do you have to have in order to get there? Based upon the use cases and the requirements, we can start to identify the flow. How will a user move through our application? And this is true whether our application is a desktop application, a mobile app, or even a web app. So what types of tools can we use in order to help determine that? Well, I'm going to show you two different tools. Both of them are great for working out this type of problem and therefore a solution from it. If we look here, I'm using something called Figma. And Figma is a great tool for doing a lot of UI and UX type of work. That is determining how something's supposed to look, interact, and build. And this is part of the UX field, or user experience. How do I go through this process? And if I zoom in closer and closer here, I can navigate, and you can see here that this is essentially like almost a flow chart, if you're familiar with what a flow chart is from earlier on in programming. We can do things like say, hey, this is our starting point. We're going to visit the website. And then, is the person registered? We have a yes and no flow. If they're already registered, log them in. If not, they need to register, and then they can log in. Now, in this case, you can see, hey, they're going to explore the website. We might say, you know what? We don't need to have that. So I'm going to select this option and delete it. And now from my login, I'm going to come over here and say, you know what? I want to make a purchase. Well, I have a login over here. And notice I'm just going to select this little circle here. And once again, yes, I want to still be able to make a purchase. So this way, if someone's already logged in, they can go make the purchase. They don't need to navigate around. In fact, we might automatically take them to that page. This just makes it so we make sure we don't lose a user along the way. From selecting the purchase, they're going to go to the checkout page, which means they're going to pay, do an order confirmation, and then finally a thank you. So this is something we can use to walk through and make sure, hey, are we missing any stages? Is there anything we need to add in or remove? Places that might cause us to not be able to get that sale. So Figma is great for this, and what you can do is you can set up different documents. So this is the order process. Then you might have another one for uploading content. Now for our project that I'm building for you guys of the online 360 review system, this is great for having someone purchase that system. But we're going to have other flowcharts and flows that we're going to need to create, such as how do we upload that content? How do we make sure that the user can then go in and leave a review for one of the fellow employees? Where do we get the different types of information for a report that needs to be generated? Whatever the use cases are, this allows us to pick them out. So this is Figma. Let me switch over to another app. This is called Lucid Spark. Very similar to Lucid Charts, which we've used before in other things, but it's a little bit different as well. I want to show you it real quick. So we're going to assume that we're going to do an upload. Over here, I selected some text I'm going to put in here, and I want to specify that this is going to be the login screen. Once they log in, they need to go and choose what do they want to do. So we're going to say it goes to a dashboard. And you notice that this isn't quite lined up. I can come over here and move this. You notice how it lines things up and gives me hints. Then I can go from login and click and drag it to dashboard. From dashboard, I'll have a couple of options. I'll have my upload the employee list. I might have a report progress. That just lets me know how many different people have filled things out. And finally, I might have a final report. Once again, I'm just going to be going in here and lining these up From my dashboard, I'm going to simply select all of my options so I can see what is it that I could possibly do. Now, are there other ways to split this up? Of course, but this just gives us a nice simple way to look at this. Inside of the upload the employee list, we're going to have other steps we might need to follow. And so we can simply come here and select this. This gives us a nice flow chart, though, of letting us see what are our options, what web pages will we need to create or screens inside of our application, and start letting us make sure that we're going to have a place for all the different use cases that we defined. And it's also going to make sure that, for example, if my use case specifies that I have to have someone be logged in order to upload that document, I can see here that the only way to get to my upload employee list is if they're already logged in. So I'm meeting that goal. And so this is what these flow charts and flow diagrams are really designed for, is to make sure that we're not missing any steps. We meet all those preconditions defined in our use cases, etc. I hope you found this useful. I'm going to have links for both Figma and Lucid Spark, as well as Lucid app, its parent app. It's going to be listed below in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. You might want to check them out if you don't already have them. Both of them have free demos. They also have free and paid tiers depending upon what it is you're trying to do. I always believe in supporting products that are good. These are examples of products I actually use, and I think they're very helpful. We're going to have some more videos coming up about the planning phase. That is developing our ERDs and our class diagrams. Those are both coming up soon, where we're going to be using Lucid Chart. So stay tuned for those in the video playlist.